1942, Nazi Germany has taken control of most of Europe. The United States and its allies are advancing the most secret project in human history, the Grand Manhattan Project. They strive to build the first atomic bomb before the Nazis do. After several years of continuous scientific research and industrial investment, on the eve of dawn on July 16, 1945, at the Trinity Proving Ground in the New Mexico desert, the device codenamed Gadget is successfully detonated. The explosive yield is about 21,000 tons of TNT. The night is instantly as bright as day. An artificial sun rises over the desert. News of the successful nuclear test is sent to Potsdam, into the hands of President Harry Truman. The results of this experiment far exceed expectations. This news reshapes the situation at the trilateral summit between Churchill, Stalin, and Truman. It is now confirmed the atomic bomb can be put into actual combat. On July 24th, Truman informs Stalin in a deliberately vague way that the United States has mastered a new type of weapon with unprecedented destructive power. Stalin only smiles indifferently and responds, "I hope you can use it well against the Japanese." At that time, Soviet intelligence had already infiltrated the Manhattan Project. Stalin already knew almost everything about the nuclear program. 2 days later, on July 26th, the United States, Britain, and China jointly issue the Potsdam Declaration. They urge Japan to surrender unconditionally. They promise not to enslave the Japanese people. But they also demand that Japan disarm and stand trial for war crimes. And they issue a solemn warning. If Japan refuses to accept these terms, it will be dealt an immediate and utterly devastating blow. In Tokyo, the leadership is divided. Japan does not respond to the declaration. Instead, it chooses silence, hoping the Soviet Union might still mediate on its behalf. But America's nuclear strike preparations are already fully underway, long before any Japanese reply could arrive. On July 25, 1945, Truman approves General Karl Spatz's battle order. The order authorizes the strike force. After August 3rd, weather permitting, drop atomic bombs on the designated cities: Hiroshima, Kokura, Niigata, Nagasaki. Kyoto was originally on that target list, but it is removed. Tokyo is never selected at all because months of massive conventional bombing have already left the city in ruins. And a ruined city cannot show with any clarity what a single nuclear weapon can truly do. Hiroshima, by contrast, has most of its urban area still intact. It becomes, in effect, the ideal site for observing the lethal effects of an atomic bomb. August 6, 1945. From Northfield Air Base on Tinian Island, an elaborate nuclear bombing mission is launched. At 2:45 a.m., Colonel Paul Tibbets pilots a B-29 bomber, the Enola Gay, carrying a uranium-fueled combat atomic bomb. Little boy, it lifts off. The skies are clear and cloudless. Visibility is excellent throughout the flight. The crew strictly adheres to the planned route and altitude, arriving precisely on time in the target airspace. 2 other escort aircraft accompany them, equipped with instruments to measure the explosion, responsible for recording the entire mission. Little Boy is a gun-type uranium-235 fission bomb. It weighs about 4,400 kilograms. It relies on firing a uranium projectile at high speed into a second uranium mass, forcing the two together until they reach critical mass, triggering a runaway chain reaction. It can release about 15,000 tons of TNT equivalent energy. After a 6-hour flight of nearly 5,000 kilometers, the strike team arrives in Japanese airspace at 7 a.m. A weather reconnaissance plane confirms clear skies over Hiroshima. The city is finally selected as the target. After the aircraft climbs to an altitude of 9.5 kilometers, Tibbets hands bombing control over to Bombardier Major Thomas Farraby. At 7:09 a.m., Japanese radar catches this small formation. Hiroshima immediately raises the air raid siren, but observers count only 3 aircraft and determine it must be an ordinary reconnaissance flight. The alarm is lifted almost immediately. People resume their daily activities. At 8:09, the landmark Aioi Bridge in downtown Hiroshima becomes clearly visible in the bomb site. At 8:15, the aircraft reaches the optimal release point. Farraby activates the delivery device. The bomb bay opens. Little Boy falls toward Hiroshima. Seconds after release, it detonates at a predetermined height of over 600 meters. The impact point is about 240 meters from the Aioi Bridge. The radar fuse activates instantaneously. The device triggers an extreme chain fission reaction. In less than a microsecond, 15,000 tons of TNT equivalent energy is unleashed, shrouded in a dazzling white light. For a moment, the brightness of the flash surpasses the sun itself, clearly visible from several kilometers away. After the violent flash comes an ear-shattering roar, sweeping through everything. A giant fireball rapidly expands to a diameter of 200 meters. Every object within that range is simply vaporized. Shockwaves spread outward, causing devastating damage. Reinforced concrete buildings within a radius of 340 meters are completely destroyed. Almost everyone in that area is killed. Every house within 1.7 kilometers collapses. Fires spread widely, casualties are countless. Further out, as far as 4.5 kilometers, the shockwave still shatters glass windows. Countless people who had gone close to windows to watch the flash are severely injured by flying debris. High-intensity heat radiation causes deep third-degree burns, penetrating multiple layers of skin. Thousands of survivors are left severely disabled, disfigured for life. Within 2 kilometers, the intense heat instantly causes widespread third-degree burns. The entire process ignites a continuous firestorm, one that keeps burning for hours. About 350,000 residents were in Hiroshima that day. From high heat and instant nuclear radiation alone, 70,000 to 80,000 people are killed. Many simply vanish, leaving only their shadows permanently burned onto the pavement and the walls behind them. In the years that follow, tens of thousands more continue to suffer from radiation sickness, from burn complications, from death by cancer. By the end of 1945, the total death toll in Hiroshima surpasses 140,000. On the day of the bombing, President Truman addresses the world, warning Japan, if it refuses to accept the terms of surrender, it will be devastated like never before. Despite this catastrophe, Japan's divided leadership still refuses to surrender. The United States immediately finalizes its plan to drop a second atomic bomb. August 9, 1945. 3 days after the Hiroshima bombing, the US military once again departs Northfield Air Base on Tinian, launching a second nuclear mission. This time, 6 B-29 bombers are dispatched. The lead aircraft, Boxcar, driven by Major Charles Sweeney, carries a more powerful and more complex atomic bomb, Fat Man. One escort plane, the Great Artiste, is responsible for measuring the explosion data. Another, Big Stink, handles the recording. 2 other reconnaissance planes scout ahead over Kokura and Nagasaki separately. One aircraft turns back early due to a malfunction. After takeoff, Boxcar's fuel transfer pump fails. 600 gallons of fuel become unusable. At the same time, the formation fails to rendezvous in time near Yakushima Island. The route deviation delays the mission. When the fleet arrives over the primary target, Kokura, visibility is very poor. Beyond the cloud cover, local workers at a nearby steel mill are deliberately burning coal tar, creating smoke to shield the city. Bombardier Kermit Bayhan makes 3 separate attempts to lock onto a clear target and fails each time. Meanwhile, Japanese anti-aircraft fire grows precise and intense. The aircraft is now in danger. The crew finally abandons Kokura and turns to the alternate target, Nagasaki. Because of the failed fuel pump aboard Boxcar, the aircraft is now critically short of fuel en route. The crew considers the risk of landing with a fully armed nuclear bomb too high. As a last resort, they consider jettisoning the bomb into the sea. But in the end, they decide if visual aiming fails, they will bomb Nagasaki by radar instead. Releasing the bomb into the sea remains only the final option. Near 11 a.m., the fleet arrives over Nagasaki. Visibility here is equally poor. Then, suddenly, the clouds briefly part. The lead bomber manages to lock onto the target for just a moment. At 11:01, the crew releases the Fat Man atomic bomb. At 11:02, it detonates over Nagasaki. The second nuclear attack has befallen Japan. Fat Man detonates 503 meters above the city, equivalent to about 21,000 tons of TNT. A giant fireball with a radius of 222 meters devours the city's core. For an instant, the heat at its center far exceeds the surface of the sun. Everything within it is consumed. Shockwaves spread outward. Reinforced concrete buildings collapse within 760 meters. Homes and shops within 1.7 kilometers are damaged. Fires rage. Thousands are severely injured or buried beneath the rubble. By the end of 1945, between the blast, the fires, and the radiation, Nagasaki's death toll reaches 60,000 to 80,000. And to add insult to injury, on the eve of midnight, August 8, 1945, the Soviet Union invades Japanese-occupied northeast China. This completely shatters Japan's last hope that Moscow might mediate for peace. Facing a nuclear holocaust and now war with the Soviet Union at the same time, a double dilemma, Emperor Hirohito realizes that resistance is pointless. He issues an edict to his people, stating that the enemy now wields a new and most cruel weapon. Finally, on August 15, 1945, Japan announces its unconditional surrender. On September 2nd, the surrender signing ceremony is held aboard the battleship USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay. World War II officially ends. 80 years ago, humanity first used nuclear weapons in warfare. Hiroshima and Nagasaki have become the only two nuclear attack sites in the world. The world has always hoped this would be the final use of such weapons. To this day, the world remains caged, still living in the shadow of nuclear annihilation.